Welcome back, Tarot students. We are now moving on to the fives in the minor arcana. And the fives in tarot often mark a moment of tension and release, disruption, change. They're very chaotic and unstable, but depending on the suit, it may be constructive chaos or destructive chaos, or in some cases, emotional chaos. So we'll go through some of these cards. And we'll talk also about some of the imagery and some of the colors that are in them as well. I want to start dipping you into the symbology of the cards as well as the canon meaning of the overall suit or number. So the fives, they shake us up, they take us from the stability of the fours, and they push us forward into growth, whether we like it or not. So let's pull up our examples here, and you will see that I have a major arcana peeking out there too, because I want to remind you all that when you are looking at the numbered cards in the minor arcana, they're going to represent a development and a growth and movement from ace to 10. So everything is blooming and growing. Don't forget that when we're looking at the major arcana, they too will represent growth and development, as it is the journey of the Fool. So in this sense, the Hierophant, who is rules and regulation and stability and surety and removing chaos, he is represented as the fifth card as an antidote to the chaos of the fives in the minor arcana. So sometimes the major arcana will match up in terms of milieu or energy or feeling. In this case, the Hierophant kind of rules overall and tries to make sense out of that chaos. So let's look at our first card, the Five of Wands. Now we have five young men who are clashing with wands in a chaotic triangle. You see a lot of triangle imagery in here. When we look at triangle imagery in the tarot, I want you to think about the Three of Wands. In the Three of Wands, we have in many, many depictions a triad of powerful sources. In the Ellen Cannon Reed deck, we see the Mother, the Maiden, and the Crone. In other decks, we will see different phases of life, maybe a young boy, a middle-aged man, and an old man representing the different phases of life. If you have a novelty deck, it may represent some different phases of animal life or the like. So in this sense, I want you to keep in mind that the triangles that we see are representing the constructive chaos that is going on. While these young men are clashing, they're actually having quite a great time doing it. You can see there's a relaxed expression on their face. They're not really agonized, and you will see that in the AE Weight deck. So the bright colors, yellow, orange, they dominate. They symbolize energy, ambition, sometimes conflict, but the green that is in there is going to represent growth, creativity, excitement, new things. So the meaning, the canon meaning of this card, competition, disagreements, testing ideas in group. This could be a brainstorming session if you are in that kind of a think tank, if you're in that kind of a circumstance. It could be family working together to create an itinerary for a vacation someplace. The energy is fiery, but not fatal. It is a sparring ground. Practice till we get perfect. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent as well. That's what my brother-in-law says about sports. So the skills are sharpened in this Five of Wands. So I want you to keep that in mind. There's a lot of energy, spark, excitement. We're having a great time. We're moving on to our Five of Swords. And a smirking victor is picking up the swords while others walk away in defeat. The colors are cold, gray, blues, and greens. The cold grays represent tension, detachment, and an uneasy victory. This may not be the end of this particular battle. Because we're at the fives, this can go into further development. We could see more chaos out of this image in the sevens if the story was to unfold in this particular scene. So I want you to be careful in this circumstance. Sometimes when you read this, it'll be someone, maybe they're going through a cantankerous divorce. Maybe this is a win of some sorts, but not the end of the divorce being finalized. So just know that it does represent a bit of success, but sometimes it's a win at all costs kind of mentality, or a hollow victory, or a temporary victory. It can also be power plays. The individual here in the foreground is much larger than the others, so it may be taking advantage of one's position or one's level of authority. So I want you to keep that in mind too when you're doing readings with it. The sky's shifting tones also suggest that the conflict's aftermath still hangs in the balance. We're still waiting to see. We don't have a bright sunny day here. It's not over yet. So there may be more to this particular story. Keep that in mind when you are reading for others. We move on to the Five of Cups, and this is a little bit of a sad card. We have a cloaked figure in black, and he or she is focusing on the three spilled cups while two are standing turned away. The black is absolutely grief. When you see black in tarot, it can represent grief, darkness, being shut off from other things. The red that we see spilled over here, which is either blood or wine, that represents emotional intensity, emotional acuteness. So we're experiencing really intense feelings. It jumps right out at you. It's not something that has dulled with the passage of time. It's something that is very, very present for the person who gets this card. The muted green landscape suggests the potential for healing, but we're not quite there yet. It's a long way off to these patches. There's a little green patch up in the front, but we're really looking at that big, lush green patch with the sanctity and safety of the stone castle in the background. We also have to pass through the waters of our emotion and intuition to get there. So this individual is experiencing loss, regret. Maybe they have ignored those chalices that were half full and are focused on the chalices that are now fully empty. So hope remains. This individual needs to turn around to look at the hopeful abundance that is behind them. The two upright cups will remind all of us that all is not lost. You can always find that yellow brick road home. So our final card we are going to look at is the Five of Pentacles. And I do love to tell the story of the Five of Pentacles when this comes up in a reading on my channel. So the images here that A.E. Waite commissioned from Pixie, the illustrator of the cards, when this is supposed to be a representation of the mendicants. The mendicants were a religious sect that would get rid of all of their worldly possessions, their valuable things, in order to become more spiritual and become closer to God. So the individuals that are trudging along, both broken and broke outside of the church, they're actually walking into the church for salvation. They have gotten rid of their things, so they are suffering to some extent, but it is of their own doing, and it is to repair their souls. So the color of white here will represent hardship. The white snow represents hardship, coldness, extremes. The dark clothing represents their struggle, and the golden light coming from the window is spiritual refuge. They're going back in. A lot of people look at this card and think that they have been cast out of the church or cast outside. They haven't. They are going in. They have a very aesthetic life and they are going back in to get closer to God through prayer, through the religious experience. This card can mean cast out, but it can also mean purposely casting yourself out to get more perspective. Remember that this is a chaotic number. 5 is a chaotic number, much more chaotic than 7. And what we are looking for is the journey to meaning and to order. Journey to great ideas, journey to success, journey to emotional fulfillment, journey to spiritual foundations that are well set. So, financial loss, illness, feeling left out in the cold, yes, it's all of that. But help is available. So, it is not as downtrodden and dreary as some interpret it. So, the major arcana Hierophant, we've got the Hierophant dressed in robes. They are red, they are lovely. And again, he represents order, good thinking, and dominion over the chaos of the 5s. So I want you to keep reflecting as we go through the numbered cards on that major arcana. As we look at the minor arcana, look to the major arcana to see what cards will correspond with it and make connections with that, because what we are looking for is development through the different sections of the cards. We'll see it in the court cards as well. And this is smack dab in the middle of chaos. It's really great. So thank goodness for the Hierophant who kind of makes meaning to all of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. 5s are part of the growing pains of tarot. They're the moments where life tests us. It strips away comfort, forces us to adapt. And by studying all of this, the colors, the symbols, the imagery, the stories that are on the cards, you're going to better understand how this challenge will affect the person that you're reading for, or yourself if you're reading for yourself. These are the seeds of transformation. So as chaotic and crazy as the 5s are, we have to embrace them. We have to embrace them and enjoy them. So we'll be on to the 6 next week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for going on this journey. I hope you are learning lots. As always, drop your questions down below. I will answer questions here for teaching. And if you'd like to learn more about tarot or take one of my comprehensive courses, you can go to the link in the description and visit my digital academy at Learn World. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the future.